We drove an all-electric Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV with passengers and cargo, raising the curb weight to over 7,000 pounds to Los Angeles, California, 3,000 kilometers from Calgary, Alberta. We now have to get home. We traveled 420 kilometers from South Lake Tahoe to Klamath Falls, Oregon. Join us for episode 10 as we carry on to Ellensburg, Washington. We are leaving right now. We have a 392-mile drive ahead of us today. It's giving us one charge-up location 135 miles from now in Bend, Oregon. Not gonna lie, yesterday was a challenging day. Milo's cough and everything else was a challenge, and it was a long day. We're all pretty tired today. Had a bit of a slower start, but still hitting the road. It's about 9:30 this morning. You know,
oh my God, my cup of tea I left on the roof.
Okay.
I think coffee.
I think the 360 got that.
Here it is.
Wow, it actually hung on.
There's my flip-flop. My coffee.
Well, it's cooled off now.
My tea.
There you go, it's cooled off. We're making our first stop at 134 miles from now. It's not going to be as challenging of a day, and we're not going to be driving in the middle of nowhere today. We will keep you posted when we get to Bend, Oregon, and we'll be there soon. We are at 65% charge and 47 miles away from Bend, Oregon. We are supposed to arrive there with 53% charge. I think it's going to be a little bit less. It's mainly because of the fact that it's getting kind of hilly here. We don't have as much of the wind shelter that we did on Highway 139 yesterday that prevented the vehicle from experiencing the crosswinds that it might have otherwise experienced. I was explaining to Mona that I have this thing in my mind that I call hot watts and cold watts. Be similar to like in a gas vehicle where you get better fuel mileage from one type of fuel than another, but I find that the range when you charge on a slow charger overnight and the battery has, you know, it stays relatively cool, that the range is a lot better. It doesn't go through as much charge because the battery's not quite as hot. So today it's actually, even though we haven't had very much recuperation, it hasn't used a lot of charge. Traveling the distance we've already traveled right now, the fact that we're at 65%, we've driven about 120 miles, you know, and only used 35%. It's pretty awesome. So we are currently 38 miles from our next stop, which is in Bend, Oregon. That is a EV fast charger in Electrify America, and we're going to be topping up over there. It says we're going to arrive with 53%. We're at 62% right now. The vehicle's actually done a great job of managing the charge today. We're not going to probably get as good of range on the watts we're about to put in right now. What's going to happen is it's going to be, the battery's going to be a little bit hotter as a result, so we won't be getting that as much. I'm not sure if any of you have ever experienced the same thing. If you have an electric vehicle yourself, have you experienced the hot watts, the cold watts? Please comment in the sections below. Let us know. We're curious to know if you've experienced the same thing before. Do you feel that the price of a vehicle dictates whether or not it's luxury, or it's the actual vehicle itself that's luxury? Because our experience talking to Tesla owners in particular, they tell us that the Mercedes-Benz really nailed the luxury aspect. It feels like a real luxury car. So we're curious to know what you have to say. We just charged up to 100%. Range anxiety is high on this part of the road trip. We're in a better place than we were yesterday. Yesterday was quite a challenge, but we might make a stop just before we actually get to Ellensburg, where we're going to have a destination charger, but we're not 100% sure. We've been charged now for probably about 20 minutes. I'm still waiting for the family. They had lunch at Panda Express. I ate my lunch in the car, hanging out with Milo because he's not feeling too well. I've been waiting for them now for 20 minutes. Here's another scenario where the car charges faster than the family does to recharge its stops. I'd like to get going, but after they went to Panda Express, they decided they wanted to go to Handel's homemade ice cream. So it must be really good ice cream because they're sure taking a while. We're 221 miles from Yakima, Washington, where there's a high-speed charger there. We might top up there, or we might just push the full 258 miles to Ellensburg. That really comes down to the terrain. So we're also dealing with hot watts. Cool watts. So let's see how this range goes. Today's definitely a long haul. Tomorrow's a long haul too, and then we get to stay a couple nights in Kelowna, which will be nice. Please like and subscribe. Put your comments below. Love to hear your feedback. Love to hear about how long the stops are for you usually on family road trips. I mean, you know, it's never been a gas and go for me. This is charging, which takes longer than gassing, and it's still the same scenario. We are now leaving Bend, Oregon. Families enjoying their ice cream. As I had mentioned earlier, they wanted to have ice cream just before they left. We had finished charging about a good 20 minutes before they were done. We have 217 miles to our next charge stop in Yakima. We may consider skipping that charge stop because it's only 254 miles to our final destination. We'll see. You know, we're troopers now. We drove through the desert on reserve battery power. We can do anything. This is saying they'll arrive with 23% if we skip it. We'll see. Maybe there's a lot of PTSD still in this car, so
I was stressed out enough yesterday. Please, let's not push it again today.
Okay. I also really think that we're going to stop regardless because it's in 217 miles for that stop. I don't think we'll make it the extra 45 miles without having to use a washroom.
No. They just had Phantom. There's no way they're going to.
Yeah, no, those bladders are not going to hold that long.
We don't need to talk about the bathroom.
We're not talking about the bathroom, talking about the bladders.
We don't need to talk about the bathroom.
Okay.
See, that's inappropriate, Daddy.
That's inappropriate, Daddy. Daddy, that's appropriate.
Okay. So right now it's saying that if we just go straight through, we're going to arrive with 24%. But that's in 4 hours and 30 minutes. I don't think we're going to make it that long. Now I'm going to hit charging stations along route. I'm going to select only DC fast charge because we're definitely not waiting for anything. And then we're going to add back in this Electrify America in Yakima. Anyway, we'll check back with you guys in a bit. We got a long drive ahead of us. Please like and subscribe. Put your comments below. We are 8.5 miles from our stop in Yakima to charge up. We're not going to charge to 100% because we don't need to because the hotel is 45 minutes beyond that. We have been driving now for quite some time. Everyone's going to need a bathroom break for that reason. We're going to charge as long as we need to be there for. That's going to be our new approach on this charging stop. We'll be there in about less than 10 minutes. Our final destination is 45 minutes from there and we'll be done with this day. Been a really good drive today. The range worked out to be a lot better than we had expected. A lot of it was to do with the fact that we did a lot of recuperating coming down the hill. We dealt with the craziest crosswinds we've seen yet on this part of the drive. It's kind of nuts here. It's 32 degrees Celsius and it's blowing heavy winds. Arriving with looks like 26% charge, maybe 25% by the time we get there. We're being a little bit adventurous with the rate of speed we've been traveling at lately, mainly because of the fact that just like right now, the car just put 2% back into the vehicle from the recuperation of having to stop at this light. We just left a charging station, Electrify America, at Walmart that was in Yakima. We charged as much as we really wanted to be there for. We had promised the kids that they get some toys, so they got to go inside and pick out some toys in the Walmart, and by the time that they were done, I was already at 82% or whatnot, or 83%. While I'm there, I run into a young group of guys going to a EDM concert and an elderly couple who just got a rental car, and they both had rental electric cars. One was a Chevy Bolt and I think the other one was also a Chevy product. I'm not sure which one it is. They didn't get a lot of instruction when they were giving these rental cars, unfortunately. I mean, I gave them some apps they could probably use that'll help them out, but they were both a little bit frustrated in terms of how long their cars were taking to charge. This is a very important point. We are trying to show you through this trip the viability of owning an electric vehicle, but there's good apples and bad apples, right? And I mean, nothing against those vehicles, but of course you do pay for what you get. And in something like the Mercedes EQ line or the Mercedes-Benz line in general, you're gonna see charging capacities much higher than what are gonna be in other brands. It did make me realize that, you know, the bad name that people have associated with electric vehicles and range anxiety in particular, I mean, a lot of it's fueled by more primitive technology. Simply, electric vehicles, a lot of them have gotten a bad rap because of situations like these people were in. When you just haven't taken the time to do the research and you're using an electric vehicle that's using primitive technology from when electric vehicles first started to come onto the market, it's going to shape your opinion of an electric vehicle in such a way that you're just going to say, oh, no, I never want to go through this, never want to go through that, because you're going to listen to the horror stories that people like this are going to share with you from just renting a vehicle one time. Do your homework, find out what the kilowatt hour is, the capacity of the battery, find out how many kilowatts it can actually charge at. These are all things that are going to, you know, really determine how convenient or inconvenient the electric vehicle that you choose is going to be for you. And this trip has been really enlightening for me because you really don't get that perspective until you've had a chance to experience it and live with the vehicle and drive it as many kilometers as you had. And by the time we get home, it's going to be over 6,000 kilometers. I can tell you firsthand, when you meet these other people that are at these charging stations, you're pretty grateful for what something like this will deliver on. So please, you know what? Please subscribe, like, share, comment below. We'd love to hear if you've done some homework on some electric vehicles. If you own an electric vehicle, if you did your homework first and found out that, you know, what they can charge at, if you were aware that electric vehicles could charge up to the capacity that they were going to, we'd love to hear your feedback. We are arriving in Ellensburg, Washington. We've completed our journey for today, and tomorrow we're on our way to Kelowna. I have a border crossing there in between, crossing through Osoyo, so it should be some beautiful scenery. Driving probably through some of the vineyards as well, which will be really nice to see. We have to say that the range anxiety here in Washington State is pretty low.
Minimal.
Yeah, pretty minimal. There's a lot of charging stations around us. We're back into civilization.
And it took forever to get here.
Yeah.
Subscribe, comment down below, like and share what your favorite road trip was.
Perfect.
Wow, perfect. Okay, love, anything for you to add today?
It was pretty easy today.
Yeah, today was
Today was a lot better than yesterday and the day before.
today was like the calm part of the movie production.
Yeah.
You know, it was anticlimactic today.
I mean, the scenery was also beautiful, but there was a lot of charging points where we weren't anxious.
Yeah, there was absolutely zero anxiety today, which is probably why Mona was telling me.
I mean, we really didn't need to stop at the last charging point anyways.
We had no business stopping for another charge. I mean, we're here now. We've got 66%. We're charging overnight on our charger, which
Manitoba Avenue.
it's probably going to be done soon. Yeah, Manitoba. All right, bye everyone. MBTT YYC.
YYC.
Yay! Charlie got it. Yes. Say it one more time, Charlie.
YYC.
Yay! We traveled 651 kilometers today, charged twice, once in Bend and once in Yakima, Washington. The total cost of charging today was $45.72. The same distance in the gasoline-powered GLS that we normally would take on this route would have cost $125. Join us for episode 11 when we travel back to Canada, crossing through Osoyoos, British Columbia. Please like, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your stories.